students, welcome to English 102. This video serves as an introduction to our course and our syllabus. So let's get started. So this is the dashboard that I see in Canvas, and I'm going to go ahead and click on our course. And it will take us to the home page, which is the modules. And how our course works is we kind of work through modules. So this Start Here one will have kind of a lot of the background information about the course. And then we move through paper 1 module, paper 2 module, paper 3 module, and then a material for our finals. So it is, we work project to project. So let's start off by opening up the syllabus. And I want to go over how the course works and the policies, and I'll flip back to Canvas as needed. And so our course is completely online. It starts March 18th and it goes to May 10th. I am Paulette Stevenson. I am your instructor. I have designed the entire course. And I will be the one doing all of the commenting and feedback. So the best way to get a hold of me is internally through Canvas. So through this message service over here, or you can just contact me via email, and this is my email address. If we need to Skype, here is my Skype name. And I am available to you online. So again, Skype, phone call, occasionally. Actually, a newer technology that I really like is setting up a Zoom room with students. And it's really, I send you a link and then I give that to you. So that's if you want to meet with me or talk with me about something. But we can also do phone calls too. So our required textbook is the Cengage Guide to Research. It should look something like this. There's all the information. And then you should be able to get it through MCC's bookstore. You can get it online. I suggest to students to get it early. And you do not have to go through MCC's bookstore. You can go through wherever you want. A lot of times you can get these books used for cheap, but cautionary tale is sometimes they take a little longer to ship. So I would get them as soon as you get into this course. The required supplies for this course would be an active Gmail account through Maricopa Community Colleges or MCC, access to Google Docs. It doesn't have to be through MCC, but just know that that is available to you through MCC. So if you're like, I don't know what Google Docs are, don't worry. They either come with your Gmail account. So if you have a personal Gmail account, you'll have access to it, but you also have access through your MCC Gmail account. You also need access to Canvas, which if you're watching this video, you already do, and then a secure connection to the internet, which is actually pretty important for an online course. So if you don't have an internet connection at home, you'll need to find a place that you have stable internet connection. Vice versa, you probably want to make sure that you have a backup plan. Say, for instance, they end up working on the internet in your house and you're somebody who likes to work in the middle of the night, that would be really unfortunate when you go to get on the internet for it to be down. And so that's kind of the minimum requirements for this course. So make sure you have a backup plan, a coffee shop, a library, a food place, whatever the case is, know what's close to you and know what you can get access to it. So English 102, we're going to be doing a lot with building rhetorical knowledge, really getting into more critical...
It's 8 o'clock.
Excuse us. Getting into more critical thinking stuff, going through the processes of writing, and really thinking about some of the conventions of writing. We do 3 major projects here. The first one is a rhetorical analysis of a documentary film. The next project is an annotated bibliography, researching an issue that you're interested in, And then paper number 3 takes that research on an issue that you're interested in, and you either write a letter to an elected official, or you're allowed to record an advocacy video. So those are the major projects, and we basically work project to project. So if you'll notice, project 1 module has a lot of stuff. So it has an assignment sheet, it has a video intro, it has another video, it's got an article, and then it's discussion 1. And then it's got this other video, this reading, this link, and it's discussion 2. There's a topic proposal, there's another discussion, there's a sample project, and then there's a rough draft. And so that's going through the process. We go through the entire writing process for one project, and you get to the point where you turn in a final, and then you kind of start it over for a different project. So I'm not expecting you to know what a rhetorical analysis is or know how to do one. That's the kind of stuff we'll learn in this class, okay? And then you get the opportunity to practice it yourself. We also, the way that you participate in this class, unlike a face-to-face class where we just come into class and we maybe discuss the reading, or I put you in small groups, we don't have that same thing in an online class. But what we do have are discussion boards. And so you will, that's kind of our in-class work, if you will, for here. So you will participate in these discussions. So let me open one up, for example. So discussion 1 asks you to introduce yourself to the class. What kind of writing do you do? All that good stuff. Or it asks you to read this article first. So there'll always be something to read. So everyone will read it. And then for the discussion on the first day, you will post an initial post. So it's one longer post where you're kind of engaging with the reading and the questions. And then the following day, which is actually 2 days later because our course works Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So you'll have for example, you have an initial post on Monday, and you'll post a longer post. So it must be at least 250 words. And then the following day it's due, which would be on a Wednesday for this one, I think. Or, again, 2 days later, you will, in at least 100 words, respond to 200 people. So it's 200 words, 100 words to one person, and 100 words to another person, if that makes any sense. So that's how our discussion works. And that's kind of the day-to-day work of our course. Each discussion's worth 2 points. Your original post is worth 1 point. So you complete, let's say, there's only a grade for, the grade you'll see will be discussion 1 grade, right? If you get 2 points, you did it correctly. If you get 1.5, something went wrong. And in the discussion portion, in the comment portion of your grade, I'll write what went wrong so you can understand it. It could be that your replies were too short. They weren't actually engaging with the person. They were just really kind of one sentence, one-offs. And it could be that you missed one of them. So that's important to know. I do assess these for quality, depth, originality, and accuracy, and clarity of expression. The big thing that I'm looking for is that in the initial post, you're kind of engaging the reading and the questions. So if you say, for instance, have a pattern of not engaging the reading at all, I start to get suspect. Are they even doing the reading? And the same thing with the replies. Are you engaging the other students? Are you kind of thinking about a back and forth? So I'm looking for that. And if you're doing the work and you're engaging with I'm really never suspect about that kind of stuff. But if they're really short posts and they don't seem to be engaging the reading, then I'll in the comments kind of write back to you and either decide to grade you down a little bit or ask you a couple of questions. Normally I give you, especially if you've completed it all, normally on the first discussion, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. But if we're at the end of the semester and on discussion 10, you're barely posting, I'm really not giving you the benefit of the doubt there. So topic proposals. So part of the writing process is giving you feedback at multiple points. So you'll put together a topic proposal for all of your projects. So in project one, you'll kind of tell me what you first have to tell me what documentary you're going to do. And then you'll start to preview some of the rhetorical terms we're talking about as it engages with the topic or with your documentary. None of these should be long, right? One page. You're really just telling me what you plan on writing about. It's not a rough draft. I want to see what you're thinking about in the initial stages before you get too far gone. Like maybe you pick a documentary that's really far-fetched. Maybe you pick a documentary that's great, but you're not even in the vicinity of rhetorical analysis when you're proposing me the topic. So I can catch all of that well before you write a rough draft, and we can fix that. And so the next part of the process, we do our rough drafts. Everyone puts together a rough draft of each of the projects. I review them myself, and then your peers review those rough drafts. So you also get points for reading each other's rough draft. The other thing you get points for in this class is the final reflection that's in lieu of the final exam. And then there is a thing called the Cyber Cafe that you get points for participating in. So right here, under Start Here, so the Cyber Cafe is the space for you all to ask questions of each other. And to ask questions about the kind of nuts and bolts of the class. This would be, for example, you nudging a person next to you and being like, hey, how do we do that discussion again in class? But we don't have that space online, so I've recreated it here. What I would like you to do is if you have a general question about how the class works or anything like that, I'd like you to post it here, because when you post something like that in a public place, everyone sees both the question and the answer. And then what I do, and you all can also answer these questions. So again, you get 2 points of extra credit for participating in this forum, either asking questions or answering them. So if you understand how the course works and you don't need to ask questions, sign up, hit this subscribe button here to answer people's questions. That's how you could receive your 2 points extra credit. If nobody's answered something in about 24 hours, maybe a little bit longer on the weekends, because sometimes I don't always check in on the online class on the weekends, I will come in and give the answer. And normally in the first week of class, when this discussion board when the Cyber Cafe can be pretty active, I'm monitoring this, okay? So what I'm asking you is, if you have a general question in the class, instead of emailing me or messaging me through Canvas, is to post on this Cyber Cafe. And then also watch the Cyber Cafe. Maybe you had the same question. And that's normally what happens, and this is why this space is here, is so that you get your questions answered, and we get to see, everyone else gets to see it too. So yeah, and again, 2 points extra credit. If you don't post in here all semester, you just don't get any extra credit points. So try to remember that. There is one other extra credit opportunity. At the end of the semester, there's an extra credit discussion board. So if you happen to miss one of the discussion boards, it basically takes care of that. So yeah. So if you'll look at it, all of our major points are worth, all of our major papers are 20 points. We have 10 discussions worth 2 points apiece. We have 3 topic proposals worth 3 points apiece. All of your rough drafts, again, 3 rough drafts, 2 points apiece. 3 peer reviews, 2 points apiece. And then 1 final reflection. And then you have the opportunity to earn up to 4 extra credit points. So a couple of the course policies, attendance is a big one. even though this is an online class, this class is not self-paced. This is not something that you can go back and make up the work, or alternatively, like, work really far ahead. It's something that happens within the time frame of the class, and right, working through the process of the project. So you have to turn the assignments in on time. I don't make exceptions for late work unless you're emailing me about a really extenuating circumstance. And in some cases, it's just a really small hiccup and the students are able to continue. In other cases, it turns out that you're actually going through a life-altering event. And I've had that happen before with students, and you just end up missing too much to keep up with. And so we work with you to help you withdraw from the course so that you can take it again when your life is a little less messy. So the attendance policy means that you can miss 4 assignments, okay? Everyone gets 4. Now keep in mind, every assignment that you miss is a 0. So when you miss an assignment, you're also not getting points for that. So that does tend to weigh heavy. But on your 5th missed assignment, I can drop you from the course, and that means posting that assignment within that window. So say for instance, you missed discussion 1. That's a 0, and that's an absence, and that's 1. Once you get to 5, I will drop you from the course. And 5 tends to be a lot. If the other thing I want to mention is technical problems online. The things that I make concessions for are university outages in Canvas. If you say, for instance, can't get access to the internet or something, a lot of times on these case-by-case technical problems, I'm not giving a lot of leadway. So you kind of have to have a backup. So the other policy, again, I kind of talked about late work. I don't accept late work. Our course goes at a timely fashion. You miss something because of our extra credit opportunities. Missing a couple of assignments are not the end of the world, especially the discussion boards, the smaller assignments. So if you forgot one, you don't need to stress yourself out. If you make a pattern of not doing the work or forgetting about them, then that's a bigger issue. So late work, I don't accept late work. So keep that in mind. Put yourself a reminder to do the work. Yeah. And then, again, I don't want to say that I don't accept any late work at all, so don't even ask. Like I said, if you have a family emergency, send me an email as it's happening, and we can figure out something. That is, as it's happening or before the due date, I'm happy to work with a student, especially if it's, a small hiccup, it's extend this due date and whatever. If you email me on week 5 and you've missed like a bunch of discussions and you want to make them up, that's always going to be a no. So those are the situations that I'm talking about. Our course discussions happen online, and they shouldn't be that contentious. But, they could get contentious. Somebody could take a viewpoint or a position that doesn't agree with somebody else. I know in our polarized world, and especially online, it's easier to just get mad at each other and say horrible things. But this is a rhetoric and a writing class. I want you guys to stay civil and kind to each other, knowing that behind all of these computer screens are real people with life experiences, myself included. So again, the discussion boards don't really ask you to engage in really contentious rhetoric in any way. But if you started to and it got too out of hand and it got nasty, then I stop that. And if, for instance, something happened in a discussion and I haven't caught it, send me an email and let me know about it. Um, I'm saying this, and I don't normally have a problem in this class at all. So you all should be in good shape. But like I said, I'm here to protect that from happening. And so I start with this by saying, in rhetoric, it's okay if we disagree. And in fact, it's a healthy thing, but we have to learn how to disagree civilly. And it's fine that you disagree on the discussion board, but I want you to really think about what and how you say and how it would come across to the audience member on the other side of the screen that you've disagreed with. Okay? Um, yeah. A couple other policies. These are the assignments of the class. We don't have alternative assignments. Everything in this class could be considered public, and by public I mean public to the 20-25 people in the class. So if you don't want to write it, for instance, like if you don't want to share this thing, don't write it for this class. Write about something else. Nobody is asking you to share your deep dark secrets. All writing for this class must be written for this class. Academic dishonesty is taken really seriously. So keep that in mind. I would rather you email me to get an extension than risk a plagiarism charge that could be taken through the college and could be a really serious offense. Okay. So there's a bunch of stuff in the syllabus that I didn't cover to a T, but that's the gist of all the big ones. So you'll see our entire course schedule is written here. If there happens to be any changes, I will send a note out in Canvas about this. All the stuff that's there is due before midnight that day. And what I tell students is I always say that the order to do things is to read, watch, listen, and then do the assignment. So for instance, Wednesday, before midnight, your initial post is due on discussion 1. You have to read that article beforehand, okay? If you do your post and then read the article, obviously you're not doing the work correctly. But yeah, so that's that. And then, like I said, our Canvas stuff you go through Canvas like this. And so we'll go through all of the information that you'll need for the first project, and it does correspond to the syllabus as well. So it'll say read assignment sheet 1, watch the intro video to paper 1. It should all correspond. So yeah. So what I'm telling everyone is to now, maybe read over the syllabus in more detail. And then any questions you feel fuzzy on, hit the Cyber Cafe and ask them. Okay? Awesome. Looking forward to a really exciting semester. Thank you.